Right, guys, so what we're going to do today, we're going to learn a new way of solving simultaneous equations, okay? Not by elimination, okay? And I'll start with this example, and actually, let's try and solve it through with elimination. Elimination, remember, we're trying to get rid of the x or the y, okay? Luan already told me. Leo, do you want to, well, what would you suggest?
With a multiplied by 3 and 2 multiplied by 2.
Fantastic. And the mut mean must, or multiply. Okay, no, okay. I thought we were talking Afrikaans for a second. Okay, so Luana and Leo, please realize, okay, that the way to eliminate them, because you know we can't multiply just one in the equation. Okay, 2 is not, 3 is not a factor or a multiplier of 2, and 5 is not a multiple of 3. So we need to be a bit more sophisticated here. So what they did, okay, they multiplied a by 3. You'll see in a second why. If I multiply by 3, I'm going to have 9x plus 6y equal 18. And the b, they multiplied by 2. Okay? So it's going to be 10x plus 6y equal, what do we multiply by 2? 22. Now you can see why we had to multiply both of them. Okay? Luana realized that 2 and 3 are both factors of 6. So if we multiply that by 3 and that by 2, now we're going to have 6y on both of the equation. And that's what we want to do when we want to eliminate. Okay? And then we subtract. But Hinkel, let's try and be clever about this. Which one shall we subtract from which? Are we going to do the top from minus the bottom, or the bottom minus the top? I would also do the bottom minus the top, because you know me, I like to be positive. If I do top minus bottom, I'll have 9x minus 10x, I'll get minus 6. But if I go bottom minus the top, I'm going to have exactly x. Okay, 10x minus 9x is x. 6y minus 6y is 0. 22 minus 18 is 4. That's sorted. We find out y by substituting the bottom one. I would, you can do it in any one. I would go to one of the small when I have a smaller x. Okay, so I will substitute it in a personally, but it will work in either way. So 3 times 4 plus 2y equals 6. So I'm going to get, if you don't mind, I'm going to do it quickly. 2y equal minus 6, y equal minus 3, and we solve this. I'll just pause here for a second. Right, so as people ask me, this is really as hard as it gets when it comes to two linear equations solving simultaneously. But you can probably agree with me that this was the hardest because we had to multiply each side. Now I'm going to show you how you can do it in a different way, what we call substitution. And actually that is something that a lot of students find easier. So it might be better for you. They're both all right. Okay? I would say, okay, let's do it first and then we'll hear what I say. So another way of doing it is like that. Forget about both equations for now. Let's just look at A. Okay? Let's just look at A. Let's try and solve A. Let's write A again. Okay? Let's just solve for x. Let's try and find an equation that will be like x equals something. Okay? Imagine y is a number and we're just trying to solve for x. So how are we going to do it? We're going to get rid of the 2y. How am I going to get rid of 2y? I'll do minus 2y. So I'm going to write it down as 3x equals 6 minus 2y. You see, I did minus 2y on both sides. Are you happy with that?
Yes.
Okay, just go with me. Go with the flow for now. Now I want to find out what x is. Okay, so x equal, I need to divide by 3. So x equal?
6 minus 2.
No, I need to divide by 3. Everything by 3. Okay, maybe I'll write it down like this first of all, at one stage. So 6 minus 2y divided by 3. Now if you remember, I can split that into two fractions, right? So that's x equal 2 minus 2y over 3. So I found, it's not a solution because I don't know what y is, but I expressed x in terms of y. Let me write that down because that's quite important. Okay? Just bear with me, okay? I expressed x in terms of y. The answer is you can't keep it like that. It's just a stage. So for the first stage is to express x in terms of y. What are we going to do now? We're going to take this expression of x in terms of y and we're going to feed it back into the x in the other equation. Okay? So now I'm going to rewrite equation B. I'm going to write down 5, but instead of x, I'm going to write that. Okay, I'm going to write 5 times 2 minus 2y over 3. See, instead of x, I wrote in terms of y. Plus 3y equal 11. Now, why am I doing this? Now I've got an equation with only y's. Remember, what was the problem with solving these equations? That the x and the y's got mixed up. I can't solve an equation just like that. So what I've done here, I expressed x in terms of y, and now I've got an equation completely just with y's. Okay, let's solve that. Okay, what is 5 times 2? 10. Okay, minus 5 times 2 over 3 will be minus 10y over 3 plus 3y equal 11. Okay, a little bit long, I know. Okay, now I'll move the 10 to the other side, and I'm going to write those two together. So I'm going to have lowest common denominator for those two, 3 minus 10y plus, okay, because he was sitting on 1, I have to times by 3, I'm going to add another 9y. I have to multiply the 3 by 3. Okay? Okay, and then I move the 10 to the other side, so I'm going to get 1. Okay, hang on, I'll answer the question at the end. Okay? Now I have minus 10y plus 9y. That's, and first of all, actually, I'm going to multiply by 3. So I'm going to have minus y equal 3, and that means y equal minus 3. Okay, I know it's quite long. Okay, we'll discuss which method is better, we think, later. So I find y. Now what do I need to do? I need to find x. Okay, the same way. I just substitute in one of the equations. Let's say here. Okay, I'm going to fit that inside a. So I'm going to have 3x times 2 plus 3x plus 2 times minus 3 equals 6. So I'm going to get 3x equal, 3x minus 6 equals 6. That means 3x equals 12, and that means x equals 4. And I'm getting the same answer as I got here. Okay, I'll just pause and answer questions. I'm sure there are going to be quite a lot. Okay, so let's do another example. And this example you'll see is a little bit easier. Okay, the other example is a little bit too difficult for substitution. I agree with you. Now, just out of interest, if you want to do elimination, okay, let's call that A and let's call that B. The elimination actually is really easy. What should you do?
Subtract the y.
Which one from which?
The bottom one from the top.
Yeah, I would do B minus A. That will get rid of the y, and you'll have x, and you can straight away what x is going to be equal to. Can you see it?
X equals 1. You're no 0.
A 0, right? If you minus that minus that, the y goes away. 2x minus x.
And then
is
y
x.
equals 1.
1. Yeah, exactly. So you can solve it in your head with elimination. It's so easy. But guys, it is important to know how to do substitution. Let's do substitution now. Now, you can choose any variable that you want to do. Okay? What you want to do, I'll write it down here. You need to solve for one variable. Well, let's put it like this. Okay? You know what? I'm going to write it down again. When this gets dry, I'll write down the whole method that you're going to do. So we're going to try and find out what is y equal. You can also equally find what x is equal to. But let's find what y. If I want to find what y is equal, how should I get rid of this x? Just in this equation, how do I do? Y equal what? Okay, so I need to do minus x, right? So y will be equal to 1 minus x. You see, it's already much easier. Now, I express y in terms of x. We're going to put it into the x in the other equation. So now I'm going to rewrite the other equation. I'm going to write it down here. That was equation A. Now I'm going to write equation B. I'm going to write 2. Instead of x, what should I write? 1 minus x, you see. Plus y. You're going to have to wait. Equal 1. Okay, and then I just solve it. Oh, hang on. Yeah, that should be y. Is that what you were trying to tell me? Okay. So that is, yes. Junaid is absolutely right. Okay. So we made a mistake here. Okay. Instead of y, I must write 1 minus x. Not instead of x. So the 2x I have to actually leave. It's instead of y. Okay, that arrow should have been pointing to here. Because we found what is y in terms of x. Let's put instead of y, we'll put x. So it's 2x plus 1 minus x. equal 1. That is very easy to solve. Okay, what is 2x minus x? X. 1, what do I do with that 1? So what will I get? 0. So I found x is 0, which you already knew. Okay, now how am I going to find y?
Substitute.
But where? Look at the top there, it's already ready for you. You know, like when you play volleyball, do you ever play volleyball? And you like somebody passed the ball next to you to the net, so what's that person doing? You know that? Do you know volleyball? You never really played volleyball here. Do you play volleyball, Leo?
Yes.
Yeah, you know how it is. You gotta get that part next to the net, and now the person, okay, right? So that's what we're doing here. It's already been ready for us. Okay, we know what x is. Let's put that now here. Okay, so y will be equal 1 minus 0. It's equal 0 as well.
No, it's equal 1.
Oh, you're right. I forgot my normal arithmetic. Okay, so we have the two solution here. Okay, I think you agree with me. This is a little bit easier. Okay, let's just stop here and think. Okay, so how does it work? I've written all the steps, and let's go over it. And this is a good example to see it. If we don't want to use elimination, sometimes it will be actually not in linear equation, but other equation, it will be impossible to use elimination. Then we have to work with substitution. So your first step is to choose an equation. Okay, and if you choose carefully, if you're clever, it will make your life easier. Choose an equation and express y in terms of x. That's what we've done here. We chose this equation because it's easier. There's less, it's just less numbers here. And we found what is y in terms of x. Of course, you can do the other way around. You can also express x in terms of y. That will work as well. Once you've got that, y in terms of x, or x in terms of y, now what we're going to do, step 2, substitute in y in the other equation. So we're going to look at the other equation. We have to use the other equation. The trick is, or the secret is that you have to use both equations. Use the first equation to find the expression y in terms of x. Now we substitute in the other equation in terms of y. Let's not do the same mistake I did. If I find what is y in terms of x, we're going to substitute it here. Okay, that's the second step. Then we get an equation just for x. We got rid of y. So we solve for x. We find what x is. Once I know what x is, step 3, then step 4 is very easy. I use the first equation that I created, okay, of y in terms of x. I substitute the value of x that I know. I got the y. Okay, let's do some examples. You guys are going to work.